Khorsh here. We are back in Khorsh's kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to cook Khoresht Loobia or green bean stew. And green bean stew is something that you can either serve it with rice or you can eat it with bread. So today I'm also going to cook rice and show you how to do that. Here we have 2 pounds of green beans. I've already sliced the green beans. When I make green beans stew, I don't cut the beans as small as you do for Lubia polo or green beans rice. You cut it a little bit larger. I've got 2 pounds of green beans, 2 pounds of meat, 1 pound of carrot, and 1 large onion that I've chopped. And we also have potatoes that I'm going to show you. I've already cut 6 medium-sized potatoes and chopped it in small cubes. The reason I leave it in cold water is because I don't want it to discolor. So I'm going to add the onion to the oil, and this is the first thing that we do. As I've always said, anytime that you're cooking stew or khoresht, you fry the onion. Anytime you're boiling, you just put the onion in. I've already have my rice back there. I've already washed the rice. Add a little bit oil, as I've said, and salt. This is ready. We bring it to boil.
Where can they see how to cook rice?
You can go to my video on that. I have a video that shows how to cook rice. I think it's Zeresh Polo, and normally I go over the detail every time that I cook rice, but in case if you are not clear, that's what you can do. What you do with rice is that 2 or 3 times you wash the rice with water, so for the starch, to get rid of the starch as much as you can. Then I put the rice with water and put salt and a little bit oil, and normally let it sit for a few minutes, maybe to 10-15 minutes before I start cooking it. I'm not in a habit of boiling water and then adding the rice to it. It doesn't make any difference. I've always done it like this. It's easier, it's faster, and we're all about doing it fast and inexpensive. So while this is 1 large onion. So I'm going to set the onion on the back burner because I'm going to show you what else we're going to do.
And how come we always do onions with all these things?
As I said, with meat, you always have to do onions. Either fry the onion, if it's stew, or if it's like abgusht, or you're just boiling the chicken, you just add the onion to the water. Okay, now, what I'm going to do here is with green bean stew, I fry everything separately. So I'm going to drain my potato. And one thing that you have to do, you have to make sure everything here is being washed and dried, because you can not have any oil, any water, and then adding it to the oil. So I'm going to saute the beans, and then after I'm done with this, I'm going to put it aside. Because we are doing a beef stew, we are having beef in the green bean stew. Beef takes longer to cook. So I'm going to saute the meat and let it cook, and each of these components, like carrots, potatoes, and beans, I saute them separately and add them to the stew at a different time. Potato is the last thing that I will add because I want the potato to be crisp, and I will show you that. And green beans is the first thing that I add. So you don't need to fry, you just roll it in the oil a little bit and set it aside. And by the time that the onion is ready, then I'm going to add the meat. I also have here a 2 teaspoons of tomato paste, and I have 1 can of cut tomatoes that I'm going to add. Also salt and pepper and turmeric to taste, and saffron. For the stew to really be tangy, I normally add some lemon juice, or if you want, you can add some sour grape, frozen sour grape. So I think my beans are getting ready. Going to remove the rice. This gives you a feeling of how much you need to turning off the beans. Now I'm going to do the carrots. Just add their oil, just a touch. Just you coat your pan with oil. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the rice in the back burner, bring the onion here. So I can show you better how. Add a little bit more oil. So now I'm going to show you how to dry the potato. Put a towel. I've already put the potato in a colander, so you spread it in a towel, and you roll it so that would dry out the potato. The carrots are ready. Now I'm ready to fry the potatoes. Let's get the onion. And I'm going to add the turmeric too, about 2 teaspoons of turmeric. The onion is almost ready. So for potato, we have to use more oil because actually I'm going to fry the potato, not completely fry it, but since this is the last thing that I'm going to add, you have a choice of what kind of potatoes you use. These are just regular Russell potatoes, but you can also use white or red potato, but remember that you have to peel the potato. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat up the oil and as I've told you in my other recipes that I've made with potato, the reason that I fry potatoes because they get firm and they taste better than just, especially in green beans stew, I always fry my potato or fry the potato. So when I fry the potato, I will add a little bit saffron and salt. Any potato that I add to any stew, I add the salt to the potato because it will taste better. So my onion is almost ready. I'm going to add the meat to the onion and let the meat cook. Add a little salt to this. I've already cut the meat to small cubes. Let's make sure that the meat is done on both sides. By frying every ingredient, your stew will not be mushy. It won't be like abgusht. Abgusht is something that when you cook it, you want everything to just blend and mix together. With this, you want everything to have its own character. And so this is ready. I'm going to add about 3 cups of water to this. And then let it that's 3 cups. No, that's just regular. As I've said, water, you know, here the water is hard, so we have to use soft water, okay? And here the rice is boiling. And now I'm going to add some saffron to the potato. I'm going to cover this meat so it comes to boil. So what we're going to do, I'm going to add the beans and the carrots to the stew and let the potatoes sit on the side. I'm going to drain the rice, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the presentation of the green bean stew. You see how the potatoes are getting on the edge, it's getting brown. This is how you want the potatoes to be done. I use the same spoon for the rice, so as long as there is no sourness or the sweetness, it doesn't matter because the spoon is clean. So now I'm going to add some salt. And pepper. And I also add my tomato at this time. So you've got your meat, you've got your tomatoes. Let's add the tomato paste. Now that I have put the spoon in tomato, now I'm going to use another one for the rice. We don't use the same. I need to add a little bit water to the rice. Okay. And now the potatoes are getting as soon as this meat comes to boil, I'm going to add the green beans and the carrots. This is how you want the potatoes to look. Not all the way, but mostly. At that time, then you know that your potatoes are done. My rice is getting ready. Okay, this is boiling. I'm gonna add the carrots and the beans. And now we're going to set this in the back burner and let it and cover it and let it cook for an hour. The rice is ready. I'm going to drain the rice. I'm going to turn off the potato. I'm going to let it sit. some oil. I'm going to turn over this rice. If you are not going to turn it over or flip it over, this is what you need to do. So you need to bring the sides up, see, like this, because you don't want any tadding on the side of the pan. But since I'm going to flip it over, just go like this, put some oil on the top, and we're done. Okay, I'm going to put it on high heat just for a bit. Cover it with a cloth, and as I said, this is to absorb the water or the moisture so it won't go back to the pot. That gives you a fluffier rice. That's it. Now, stew is good and the potato is also ready. So we'll come back and then I'll show you how to dish and show you the presentation. Thank you. Okay, we're back in Khoresh's kitchen again, and now I'm going to show you the presentation of Loobia pulao. By the way, you notice, I mean not Loobia stew. If you notice, my shirt is not the same because I had so much oil in it. I had to go and change. I apologize for that. Okay, now this is this Loobia stew or green bean stew. And this is the potato that I had done in the last video, the last session. So all you do, just put the potatoes in and stir it. One, that's it. Turn it up a little bit for this to get warm. And while we are waiting for this, I'm going to flip the rice. And we hope that it comes out right. Okay. And now you see that the stew is boiling and ready. And I'm going to show you how to dish this. As you see, I fried every one of these components here, and I didn't want it to be all mixed together. So you see the potatoes and the carrots. Everything is all separate. Another thing that I'm going to do is briefly I'm going to do some heat up the pan. And I'm going to do some grape, frozen sour grape, and some cherry tomatoes. When you cook as much as I do, you always have everything handy, and I put this in a freezer so I would have it in like a case like this. This is I'm going to cover this, so while we here now. The way to dish Khoresht Loobia or the bean stew is that you go to the bottom and then you have to take the pieces out. Khoresht Loobia doesn't have too much juice because the stew like any other khoresht, they're not supposed to be watery.
No oil for this.
No oil. You just steam it. Then you put some saffron. It smells so good. This is shabu stock, and I love the smell. And here we're going to do another Khoresht touches. Enjoy.